Here are two dress shoes sitting side by side. One costs $150, the other $1,500. The difference between them is not just the price. Whether you are looking at classic Oxford shoes or derby styles, it is a story of leather quality, construction methods, and whether that tenfold price increase actually delivers 10 times the value. Walk into any department store and you will find rows of dress shoes that look remarkably similar from a distance. The $150 pair might have the same sleek silhouette as the $1,500 pair. They might even share similar styling cues. But beneath that surface similarity lies a world of difference that becomes apparent the moment you pick them up, put them on, and especially after you have worn them for a year. The modern dress shoe market spans an enormous spectrum of prices. At the bottom, you will find perfectly wearable shoes for under $100. In the middle sits what many consider the sweet spot, shoes ranging from $300 to $500 that offer genuine quality construction. At the top, luxury brands command prices that exceed $3,000 for a single pair. But here is the fascinating part. The relationship between price and value is not linear, and understanding where that value actually comes from can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars over a lifetime of shoe purchases. Let's start with the foundation of any quality dress shoe, the leather itself. When you are looking at that $150 pair, you are almost certainly looking at what is called corrected grain leather. This leather gets sanded, buffed, and chemically treated to remove natural imperfections. The surface gets coated with pigments and synthetic finishes to create a uniform appearance. It looks clean and consistent in the store, but there is a hidden cost to this processing. Those chemicals used in the pigmentation process severely limit the leather's breathability. They prevent the material from absorbing polishes and creams properly, which means you cannot maintain the leather the way you would higher quality materials. Most critically, corrected grain leather does not age gracefully. Instead of developing the rich patina that makes quality leather shoes more beautiful over time, these shoes tend to crack and crease in unattractive ways. Now contrast that with the leather you'll find on a $1,500 shoe. This is almost certainly full grain leather, and the difference is immediately apparent to anyone who knows what to look for. Full grain leather retains the complete original grain of the hide. You can see the natural pores, and yes, even small scratches or marks that tell the story of the animal's life. This isn't a flaw, it's a feature. The fibers in full grain leather remain stable and incredibly durable because nothing gets removed or chemically altered. It breathes naturally, which means your feet stay more comfortable and the leather itself stays healthier. Most importantly, full grain leather improves with age. Each time you wear the shoes, the leather becomes more supple. Each time you polish them, they develop more character. After years of wear, a quality pair of full grain leather shoes will look better than they did the day you bought them. The gold standard within full grain leather is calfskin, particularly European calfskin from tanneries like Haas Tannery in France or Tannery d'Annonay. The breeding standards and climate in Europe produce hides that are typically larger and of higher quality than their counterparts from other regions. European calfskin has an incredibly tight grain structure and few natural imperfections, making it perfect for dress shoes that need to look refined while remaining durable. But even within the realm of quality leather, there are gradations. At the very top of the pyramid sits Shell Cordovan, produced almost exclusively by Chicago's Horween Leather Company. Shell Cordovan isn't technically leather at all. It is a subcutaneous membrane from horses that is 8 to 10 times denser than typical bovine hide. This density makes it incredibly difficult to work with. The tanning process takes nearly 6 months, with the Cordovan spending almost 2 months soaking in vegetable tannins. Horween also produces other premium leathers like Chrome Excel, which offers a different character with its oil-tanned finish. But Shell Cordovan remains their crown jewel. It is virtually indestructible. Shell Cordovan is prized for its incredible strength, its resistance to creasing, and its ability to develop a deep, lustrous patina over decades of wear. When you see a pair of Shell Cordovan shoes priced at $800 or more, you are not just paying for exclusivity, you are paying for a material that represents the absolute pinnacle of leather craftsmanship. Now, understanding leather quality is just the beginning. The real difference between a $150 shoe and a $1,500 shoe lies in how that leather attaches to the sole, and this is where we enter the fascinating world of shoe construction methods. Walk into any store selling shoes under $200, and you are looking at cemented construction. This is exactly what it sounds like. The sole gets glued to the upper portion of the shoe. It is fast, it is cheap, and it is how 95% of all shoes get made today, including most sneakers. For manufacturers, it is perfect. For consumers who want their shoes to last, it is a disaster. Cemented construction creates a fundamental problem. When the glue fails or the sole wears through, the shoe is finished. There is no way to repair it economically. The upper portion of the shoe might be in perfect condition, but once that sole goes, you are buying a new pair. This is why those $150 shoes typically last 6 to 12 months with regular wear. They're designed for appearance, not longevity. The step up from cemented construction is Blake stitching, a method that has become synonymous with Italian shoemaking. In Blake construction, the outsole is stitched directly to the insole and upper using a single line of stitching. This creates a sleek, lightweight feel that is perfect for the slim, elegant profiles Italian shoes are known for. Blake-stitched shoes are more durable than cemented shoes and offer some possibility of resoling, though resoling requires specialized equipment that many cobblers do not have. But the gold standard, the method that separates truly quality dress shoes from everything else, is Goodyear welt construction. It was invented in 1869 by Charles Goodyear, Jr., and this method has set the benchmark for quality shoemaking for over 150 years. The process involves stitching a strip of leather called a welt to both the upper and a canvas rib that is attached to the insole. The outsole then gets stitched to this welt, rather than directly to the upper. This might sound like a minor technical difference, but the implications are enormous. Stephen Taffel, founder of Leffit, a high-end New York boutique specializing in classic men's footwear, puts it simply, it's definitely a sign of high quality. It's very traditional, it's very sturdy, and in my opinion, it's the best way to sole a shoe. Goodyear welting creates a relatively waterproof build and allows for a cork-filled footbed that gradually molds to the shape of your foot over time. The wooden form that shapes the shoe during construction determines how well this molding process works with your particular foot shape. But most importantly, Goodyear welting makes the shoe infinitely repairable. When the sole wears out, a cobbler can simply remove the stitching, replace the sole, and restitch it to the existing welt. The upper portion of the shoe, the expensive part made from that beautiful leather, remains completely intact. Repairability transforms the economic equation entirely. A complete resole of a Goodyear welted shoe costs between $150 and $250, depending on your location and the type of sole you choose. Yes, that sounds expensive, until you realize you are essentially getting a brand new shoe for a fraction of the original cost. Quality Goodyear welted shoes can get resoled 3 to 5 times over their lifetime, potentially lasting 15 to 30 years with proper care. Let's run some real numbers to see how this plays out over time. Take a $150 cemented shoe. With regular wear, it lasts about a year before sole separation or wear makes it unwearable. Over 20 years, you would need to replace it 20 times, spending $3,000 total. Now consider a $1,500 Goodyear welted shoe. Add 4 resoles at $150 each, plus approximately $400 in shoe care products over 20 years, and your total investment is $2,500. The premium shoe actually costs less over its lifetime while providing superior comfort and appearance. But the story becomes even more interesting when you factor in the human element. Think about how these shoes actually feel and perform during wear. That cork footbed in a Goodyear welted shoe does not just sit there. Over months and years, it gradually compresses and conforms to the unique shape of your foot, creating a custom fit that you simply cannot get from a mass-produced insole. It is like having a shoe that is slowly becoming bespoke to your foot. The difference shows up in unexpected ways. One owner of Nicholas Templeton shoes reported wearing his black Oxfords 180 times in the first year with 0 creases in the vamp because the last shape matched his high arch perfectly. Another person shared that his father's 1987 Edward Green shoes were recrafted in 2024 and looked better than his new Allen Edmonds. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood aspects of premium footwear: the role of the brand name itself. When you see John Lobb shoes priced from $1,500 to $3,000, how much of that cost is actual quality versus brand prestige? The answer is nuanced, and it reveals some surprising truths about the luxury footwear market. John Lobb represents the pinnacle of shoemaking heritage. The company was established in London in 1866 and has been making shoes for royalty and heads of state for over 150 years. In 1976, Hermes acquired the Parisian branch, creating John Lobb Paris, which focuses on ready-to-wear shoes rather than bespoke. These are the $1,500 plus shoes you will see in high-end department stores. But here is where it becomes interesting. Many experts argue that John Lobb's premium over other top-tier brands is not justified by quality alone. Brands like Gaziano and Girling, Edward Green, and Crockett & Jones hand grade offer comparable construction quality at significantly lower prices. Edward Green shoes of comparable quality to John Lobb's ready-to-wear line start around $1,000. Gaziano and Girling, renowned for their elegant lasts and impeccable finishing, can be had for around $1,200. Crockett & Jones hand-grade shoes, representing the pinnacle of that brand's production, start at around $650. The consensus among serious footwear enthusiasts is telling. John Lobb shoes are not necessarily going to last longer than these alternatives, and in some cases, the competitors offer superior value. As one expert put it, you can buy 2 or 3 pairs of shoes from these other brands compared to just 1 from John Lobb for the same amount of money. This reveals an important principle in luxury goods. There is often a sweet spot where you get maximum quality before you start paying primarily for brand prestige. In dress shoes, that sweet spot typically falls between $300 and $800, depending on the specific brand and model. At the very top of the market sits the world of bespoke shoes, where prices start around $3,000 and can exceed $5,000. At this level, you are paying for a completely custom shoe made to the exact shape of your foot. Makers like Foster and Son and George Cleverly represent centuries of accumulated craftsmanship, and their bespoke shoes can theoretically last forever with proper care and periodic rebuilding. But even here, the law of diminishing returns applies. A well-made Goodyear welted shoe from a quality manufacturer will serve most people's needs perfectly well. The jump to bespoke is often about personal satisfaction and the experience of owning something truly unique rather than practical necessity. The materials themselves tell a story of global craftsmanship and tradition. The Horween Leather Company, established in Chicago in 1905, has operated under family ownership for 5 generations. Their founder, Isidore Horween, originally made shell cordovan for razor strops used to sharpen straight razors. When safety razors made straight razors obsolete, shoemakers discovered the leather's excellent properties for footwear. Horween represents a dying breed. As of 2013, they were one of fewer than a dozen tanneries remaining in the United States, down from over 250 in 1978. Their approach embodies a philosophy that Skip Horween III, the current president, summarizes perfectly. As tanneries go, we are not the biggest, the fastest, or the cheapest, which means we need to be the best. This attention to traditional methods comes at a cost, but it produces materials that simply cannot be replicated by industrial processes. Horween produces all the leather used in NFL footballs and NBA basketballs, in addition to their luxury shoe leathers. When you are wearing shell cordovan shoes, you are wearing leather made using techniques that have remained essentially unchanged for over a century. The environmental impact of these different approaches is worth considering. A staggering 20 billion shoes are manufactured each year, with each pair pumping approximately 30 pounds of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Most of these shoes are designed for obsolescence. They will last 300 to 500 miles of use before replacement. If you walk 2 miles per day, that translates to roughly 8 to 12 months of wear. Quality leather dress shoes represent the antithesis of this throwaway culture. With proper care, regular polishing, cedar shoe trees, occasional resoling, and rotation between multiple pairs, high-quality leather dress shoes can last decades. The leather itself actually improves with age, developing character and a unique patina that makes each pair individual to its owner. This longevity transforms the cost per wear calculation entirely. Cost per wear equals the total cost of ownership divided by the number of times you wear the item. A $300 shoe that lasts 20 years with proper care works out to approximately $1.50 per wear when you factor in maintenance costs. By contrast, that trendy $50 shoe worn 5 times before replacement has a cost per wear of $10. The maintenance itself becomes part of the ownership experience rather than a chore. Quality leather responds beautifully to care. Each polishing session not only maintains the leather's health, but gradually builds up that coveted patina. Using cedar shoe trees when the shoes are not being worn helps maintain their shape and absorbs moisture. Rotating between multiple pairs allows each pair to fully dry between wears, significantly extending their lifespan. But the most compelling argument for quality footwear is not economic, it is personal. There is something profoundly satisfying about owning objects that improve with age rather than deteriorate. In our world of planned obsolescence and constant replacement, a pair of quality dress shoes represents a connection to traditional craftsmanship and enduring value. The tactile experience of quality leather, the way a well-made shoe fits after it is broken in, the satisfaction of seeing scratches disappear under careful polishing, these are not quantifiable benefits, but they contribute to the overall value proposition in ways that pure economics cannot capture. So, where does this leave the consumer trying to navigate this complex landscape? The key is understanding your own needs and usage patterns. If you wear dress shoes once or twice a month for special occasions, that $150 cemented shoe might serve you perfectly well. The cost per wear remains reasonable because you are simply not wearing them enough to justify the premium. But if dress shoes are a regular part of your wardrobe, the mathematics become compelling quickly. At just twice per week wear, quality shoes with proper care can deliver superior value within the first few years, not to mention the improved comfort, appearance, and satisfaction of ownership. The sweet spot for most people lies in that $300 to $500 range where you can find Goodyear welted shoes from reputable manufacturers. Brands like Beckett-Simonon, Thursday Boot Company, and Grant Stone offer entry-level Goodyear welting at accessible prices, though with slightly stiffer leathers than the premium European options. Allen Edmonds, despite some recent quality concerns, still offers solid value in their traditional models with full leather insoles and cork filling. For those willing to invest more, the $800 to $1,200 range opens up access to exceptional quality from makers like Edward Green, Gaziano, and Girling, and Crockett and Jones Handgrade. At this level, you are getting leather quality, construction, and finishing that rivals anything available at any price. The most important lesson is this: in dress shoes, construction quality matters more than any other single factor. A $300 Goodyear welted shoe will outlast and ultimately cost less than a $500 cemented shoe, regardless of leather quality or brand prestige of the more expensive option. Understanding these principles does more than save money. It changes your relationship with the objects you own. Instead of viewing shoes as disposable fashion items, you begin to see them as long-term investments that reward care and attention. You become part of a tradition that stretches back centuries, connecting you to craftsmen who take pride in creating objects designed to last not just years but decades. In a world increasingly dominated by fast fashion and planned obsolescence, choosing quality dress shoes becomes an act of rebellion, a statement that some things are worth doing right, worth maintaining, and worth keeping for the long term. The difference between the $150 pair and the $1,500 pair is not just in the price tag, it is in the philosophy behind their creation and the experience they provide over years of wear. That philosophy, more than any technical specification or brand name, might be the most valuable thing you are buying when you invest in quality footwear.